Danyelle, congratulations. I know you said that there wasn't like pressure, you're used to big fights and big moments and things like that, but how did this whole thing play out versus what it was in your head going in?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I just tried to stay off the internet and, just stay focused on the fight and not think too much about the whole world's watching, and I tried not to even go down that rabbit hole.
Nice. I mean, you clearly had the boxing pedigree coming in, but she was scrappy. I mean, she came in there to fight. So how did the actual fight play out versus you thought? I mean, was she better maybe than even you thought you were going to face?
No, I knew she was a great fighter. I totally respect her for that. She definitely has more, MMA experience than I do. But, I was ready. I was definitely ready. There's so many things I wanted to do. I was just like, oh, I see this. I'm like, but the game plan's this. Oh, I see this. I'm like, but the game plan's this. I definitely wasn't supposed to pull guard and try for a guillotine. I'm always defending those and getting out of those. But I was like, it's right there. I'm like, I'm taking it. But yeah, I'm excited to keep learning. And, it was very exciting to, have my first MMA debut fight on TV. But yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot to take in, and I boxed all last year and came back to MMA during COVID. So that was an experience in itself of trying to get a camp together and get teammates, in there, and so it was a big challenge to put it all together during a COVID, and but we did great and worked with what we had and with the teammates we had, and put it all together. Got that W.
It's a kind of an interesting, obviously, career path that you're going to be taking. I mean, you're going to be learning MMA on the biggest stage, right? So what is the plan from here? I mean, the question is, do you want to just get a fight as soon as possible and keep going? Or do you feel like, okay, we got some research done. Now we got to go back in the lab for a little while and work on things before we make a debut? What do you think the path is from here?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll talk to Dana and see what he has in store, and but for sure, I mean, I'm the type of athlete that I just want to go to the gym right now and work on everything that I saw or missed or didn't do enough of. So I mean, my coaches will probably punch me for this, but I want to go back to the gym tomorrow. I'm just thinking about everything I should have done, could have done better. That's how I've excelled, in all the sports I've done, and how quickly I excelled in boxing and jiu-jitsu and stuff, is that I don't stop, and I get right back to the drawing board and I get right back to work,
Nice. And last thing for me, and Dana admitted, the women's featherweight division isn't super deep like some of the other ones. So, I mean, you could be in a unique position where maybe you're like 5-0 and fighting for a world title or something like that. I mean, does that opportunity excite you? Does it scare you a little bit to think that? I mean, what do you think about the reality? What does that feel like?
Well, I was 0-0 until tonight. So, my MMA debut was on the Contender series. So I'm ready for anything,
Yeah, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Obviously, having so many boxing bouts, you're experienced to getting in there and competing, but I was wondering if was there something that happened during your first MMA fight that surprised you, that you thought, oh, that wasn't inspiring?
Yeah.
Was there anything that took you by surprise?
The gloves are way smaller, that's for sure. The gloves are way smaller. They move a lot faster. A lot faster. So definitely need to train more with little gloves, and it's very different.
At this point in your career, is it just about getting through these fights and learning those lessons as much as you can to take them back to the gym and evaluate and progress?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, just from this fight itself, I've learned so much, and I'm really appreciative of everything I learned, and I'm almost glad it went all 3 rounds so that I can really take a lot from this fight, and I have, and I will, and like I said, I'll be in the gym tomorrow.
And last one from me, I'm sure you're aware of this, the internet and mixed martial arts fans as well have a tendency to be a little strange sometimes. And you're being promoted as a boxer, you're coming into mixed martial arts as a boxer.
Yeah.
Does that sort of make you feel like there's a bit of a target on your back? Or do you think fans are going to react to me like, oh, look at this person coming into our sport? And if so, is that a good thing? Because at least then they'll be paying attention and still giving you some feedback.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm tired of hearing it. Like, oh, she's, a boxer coming into MMA, or long time coming, all these things. But I'm not just a boxer that, took advantage of MMA and is just saying, oh, I can do MMA, because I am a boxer. When I crossed over in 2016, I put a gi on and trained jiu-jitsu, 4 or 5 hours a day, every single day, and hated my life doing it. but I knew it had to be done, and I respected it, that I had to get on the ground as a boxer, as a striker. So, I'm doing the right stages and, getting as much, jiu-jitsu and wrestling and and just now, weaving it all together.
Actually, one more. On the broadcast, it said you found out that you hit as hard as Dustin Poirier.
No.
Is that true?
Yeah, that's funny. I was at a UFC fight week, and I had like high heels on and like a dress-up outfit on, and they had like a bag with like sensors on, and they were like, these men were like hitting this bag as hard as they could, and there's like a little record thing, and my friend was like, you should try that, and I was like, I'm in heels, this and that. I was like, I'm not doing that, and she's like, do it. I was like, all right, and then everybody's like, do it. And I was like, all right. So I had to take my heels off, took my earrings out, and then I just, go to throw. And I had like the top score, because I guess they put these sensors in, and it says how fast and hard you threw. So then the guy like didn't believe it. He's like, I'm going to take you back to the VIP and have you do it again. And I was like, okay. So then I go back to the VIP section and did it again and again. And then they were like, holy shit, she's the hardest hit out of every man this entire week of, the fight week. And then I guess Dustin Poirier came over. And at the time, I didn't really know MMA, so I didn't know who Dustin Poirier was. And so he started hitting it, and I guess he was under me. And they were like, she still has like 15 above you. And I was like, hey, give it a couple more tries, maybe you can beat me, like joking. I didn't know who I was talking to. And then he would like looked at me, and they were like, yeah, she's telling the truth. And then he did it a couple times, and we tied. So it was pretty funny. I was like, well, if I could do it a couple more times, I might be able to get it. But yeah, that's funny. That was a long time ago.
Congratulations on the win.
Thank you.